we have some breaking news about some abilities, about some of the new Mega Evolutions introduced in Pokemon Legends ZA. And we have 2 new incredibly broken abilities. And the abilities are for the starters of Legends ZA. Let's break it down. First one, Mega Ember. I start with Mega Ember because it's the easiest one. Because unfortunately, Mega Ember is not one of those that has a new ability. It's unfortunate, but it gets a very interesting ability. It gets Mold Breaker. Now, Mold Breaker is a very interesting ability. Let's pick up Pokemon with Mold Breaker. Let's pick up Excadrill, sure. These Pokemon moves and their effects ignore the abilities of other Pokemon. What does that mean for Mega Ember? Mega Ember will be able to ignore abilities such as Flash Fire. Flash Fire is a very good ability. Think of Heatran. Granted, against Heatran, you are probably using a fighting type move. However, it means that Heatran cannot switch in safely into Ember, getting a boost to its fire type moves. This is already massive, okay? Another very important thing is Mimikyu's Disguise ignores usually the first damage, but with Mold Breaker, this Pokemon gets straight up hit by Mega Ember. You don't wanna get hit for free by a Flare Blitz from a Pokemon with 148 stab attack. So, yeah. Mega Ember's Mold Breaker is very interesting. I don't know how much this will impact its usage, but in a metagame where we may have some Pokemon that have a defensive ability, the fact that Mega Ember can ignore those is massive. Okay, it's a huge thing. Okay, so already this Pokemon feels much better. Yes, the speed is a bit awkward, but it's very bulky, very tanky, can stay on the field a lot, bulk up Drain Punch, Flare Blitz. So I feel like there can be a spot for this Pokemon with Mold Breaker. But now, let's talk about the other abilities. Feraligatr. As you guys know, Feraligatr gets the Dragon typing and has base 160 attack and gets moves such as Double Edge. Why am I mentioning this? The brightest of you probably already understand where I'm going with this. Feraligatr gets Dragon Eyes. As you may probably understand, just like Sylveon's Pixelate, this ability will turn all normal type moves into dragon type moves. Meaning that, other than a 1.2 increase of power, they will also get the stab from the dragon typing. Meaning, Feraligatr with Double Edge, Dragon Dance, I don't know, another normal type move that is kinda powerful. Let's see, physical, normal. In case you don't wanna, risk Double Edge, you have, I don't know, Giga Impact. I don't know, probably Double Edge or I don't know, Body Slam are the best ones. You put Dragon Claw or a coverage move and then protect. You can imagine this Pokemon creating massive amounts of mayhem and chaos. Also, I put Dragon Claw, but actually we need a water type move. So like Waterfall can be very good. Gets Aqua Jet. Gets does it get Liquidation? It gets Liquidation, so you can also have a chance to either drop the defense or flinch your opponent. So you may say it's good because Fairy types exist and will be immune to its powerful double edge. Liquidation will be still there, and 160 base attack with one Dragon Dance is something that you don't wanna face. You don't wanna face this, okay? Crazy stuff. Feraligatr suddenly became more dangerous, okay? And now let's talk about Meganium. Meganium has the most interesting ability. Meganium has the ability Mega Soul. Mega Soul, and I'm reading because all of this comes from a source on Cerebi, which they probably took it from a trailer. Mega Meganium gets a new one called Mega Soul, uses moves as if Sunny Day is in effect. Okay? Now, by the way it's worded, okay? By the way it's worded, it feels like it's solely for Mega Meganium. Okay? So it's not a fake Sunny Day, okay? That can also affect your partner if your partner throws a fire type moves, gets boosted. No. It seems to be the only beneficial to Mega Meganium. And this is good. Because it gets a turn, an instant charge Solar Beam. 120 stab with 143 special attack. Crazy. This Pokemon has the opportunity to do something very funny, which is becoming actually very good. Now, granted, the speed of Mega Meganium is not the craziest, okay? And unfortunately, it's gonna play a massive role. It's a very awkward speed. 80 is very awkward. You're too fast for Trick Room, too slow for Tailwind, on average. So unless you support this Pokemon properly, you will face problems. However, the fact that you have a fake Sunny Day, but you don't actually have Sunny Day, it means that defensively, you are better. You are not putting the sun to use Solar Beam at max potential, because, well, you don't need it. And it also means that opposing fire types won't get boosted fire type moves that are super effective and lethal against Mega Meganium. This means you can put Meganium in a rain team or in a sand team. Okay? You can put Mega Meganium in a weather that can cooperate better. Okay? You put it with a sand team, so you cover with rock and ground types the fire weakness, and even the steel weakness, and even the poison weakness. Or you can put it in rain, so you halve the fire type damage, and you cover for the fire type damage with water type members of your team. Okay? And vice versa. Meganium covers for example, other ground types or rock types with its grass type stabs. So it's overall a net positive for this Pokemon. Okay? Now, you will have to study what moves work with when the sun is active. we can even take a look. There we go, we are on Bulbapedia. Moves like Synthesis, Morning Sun, and Moonlight will get better effect. For example, there we go. Synthesis, okay, heals the user by weather dependent amount. You can see here that basically heals half of the total HP. It's massive, okay? This Pokemon basically got recover for free. Then we have also other moves, Morning Sun, Moonlight, but we don't really care. Yeah. Solar Beam, Synthesis for recovery, Moonblast, of course, if it ever learns Moonblast. Or any fairy move. I feel like it got Dazzling Gleam in Legends EA, I forgot. And then either Protect or any other move. So with Synthesis, having this Sun permanently active just for this Pokemon, you don't even need to be somewhat fast. Okay, you may need to play around with the speed, but you don't need to be base 100. Okay? You can just be this very bulky, very annoying Pokemon that just spams Solar Beam and Dazzling Gleam that gets covered by members of your team that just protect this Pokemon from fire types or most importantly poison types that deal 4 times super effective against this Pokemon. Okay? You can be as defensive as possible. You can probably imagine a strategy where you are very defensive, okay? And you spam Synthesis and Solar Beam around. Okay? Also, it's very good for Rain because you take out Gastrodon, which is usually the worst enemy of Rain teams because they mostly rely on either electric types or water types, such as the case of Archaludon, and Gastrodon is your worst enemy. You may even have Urshifu Rapid Strike, Gastrodon is your worst enemy, Mega Meganium, Solar Beam Instant, you just demolish Gastrodon, okay? Overall, what do I think of these abilities? I think, respectively, Feraligatr is the best one, is the most immediate one, okay? You set up once, or you play with the speed control, but yeah, you set up in some way once, you are basically you basically have a massive advantage, okay? You have a massive advantage instantly. After setting up once, you have a massive advantage. Meganium is very interesting, can bring this Pokemon to very interesting strategies and very interesting combos because you basically have self-weather, and that is huge. And then Mega Ember. Mega Ember, you cannot safely switch in front of Mega Ember. So I feel like these three are all very good. Now, we will have to wait for the meta, which, by the way, it got announced that the 8th of April, okay, will be the date for Pokémon Champions. Okay? So in 2 weeks we have Pokémon Champions. It will depend what the meta will be in Pokémon Champions. That will ultimately depend who of these three will be the best, because remember we still don't have the rest of the abilities of the other Mega Evolutions, but we only have 6 and it's starters. But this is promising. Thank you for watching. See you next time.